was so bad that it stirred the consciences of white missionary residents in and around Bulawayo, all of whom supported our colonization. The story of cattle and grain is at the heart of our story of resistance and eventually subjugation. In 1893, 1896, up to 1904, wars of resistance, the fight was over control of national head, all of it African. This is, of course, apart from the urge to occupy the land, to confiscate its produce, and to pillage its subsoil assets, primarily gold. The instance of the Southern Rhodesia government that native families reduced their stock to a small herd of a mere 3 animals was thus much in character with the settler system of misgovernance. The Mnangagwas were not spared, as too weren't almost all African families across our whole land. This quite naturally bred bitterness, itself the highly combustible raw material for our second children. Of course, Sekuru Mnangagwa fought back in his small but highly symbolic way. He disabled the then native land development officer's vehicle by taking out one of its wheels before challenging him to drive off on 3 wheels. If the native land development officer's vehicle could move on 3 wheels, so too could the African economy disabled by settler policy of livestock control. However futile and even humorous this action by the old men may look today, a bold statement had been made in placing an African argument and a grievance on record. As well as in demonstrating a rare will to challenge white dominance, thereby defending native rights. And for generations which later fought colonialism in the second children, fear of the white man had been overcome with his veil and myth of invincibility perforated. If a native argument could be so dramatically raised against the white dam god, so too could the dam god be successfully fought and defeated by a determined people. Great historical events are sparked and inspired by little deeds, exaggerated by settler police. He voted with his feet, starting a new life in Zambia, where our guest speaker went to 2 schools of life. One scholastic, another political under unique. A revolutionary had been born and made in the crucible of family harassment and self-exile. I recall this family's tale to paint an environment within which our guest of honor was raised. Indeed, the politics he circled and imbibed within the family environment. He traces his roots to a line of national resistance, which is why it is no wonder that he ranked among the generation which he trained and got equipped to upgrade our resistance against settler colonialism in modern forms. themselves a precursor to our armed struggle. His life history, both before and during our struggle, took him to key countries like Tanganyika, now United Republic of Tanzania, Egypt, and the People's Republic of China. Countries whose role and contribution to the development of our armed struggle cannot be gainsaid. We have men amongst us who followed the same trail he and others blazed. I trace his history in this very detailed way in order to educate little boys who now pretend to be larger than life politicians, forgetting this land has its living heroes. Indeed, as a founding generation whose lucky remnants straddled the critical successive epochs made when they were still to reach this life. Indeed, accomplished by quiet heroes whose dignified silence excoriate their own empty immodesty. The early 60s were heady days in the narrative of our resistance. The white men looked securely ensconced, his rule seemingly impregnable. The Africans appeared largely subdued, seemingly resigned to their lot and fate as an occupied people. It was daunting to think of bearing arms then, still more daunting to even summon the courage to tackle the white establishment when you were a mere handful, often equipped with small arms. As a trained soldier, I personally failed to understand what motivated our guest speaker's generation to take such obvious risks. But as a cadet of the revolution, I fully understand and I am staggered by the generation's readiness to self-sacrifice in order to inspire generations to come. And that happened. Alongside men from his generation, he carried sabotage missions meant to inspire and rouse his people into resisting settler colonialism. As expected, he did not go very far, could not have given the odds against him. But the seed of resistance had been sown, the way shown. His arrest followed torture sessions meant to break him. His trial was meant to lead to his execution. But the God of resistance had not sanctioned it, which is why we have him today. Albeit scarred by that experience. Those who met him in his sunless cell of solitary confinement say he had turned ashen white, so white that you literally saw blood coursing along his veins. He remained unbound, which is what makes him such a singular, fitting leader for our party, indeed a candidate. Ane norondo yewondo nekutambulira nyika yokweli vanhu vekweli. Like human beings, nations do have umbilical cords. These are not made of tissue, rather they are made from their founding processes. And as always, there are individuals who personify these founding processes. We are lucky to have one in our guest of honor, which is why we must never cease to count our blessings, both as a party and as a nation. It is rare that once history walks, talks, and lives amongst one, much less lives in real time, leads real people. I could go on and on about the past contributions of our guest of honor, except to do so amounts to making him a man of the past, with no record in the present. That would be very unfair to our guest of honor. Unfair to the narrative of our nation. His struggles, epicos, joins them into one seamless national story. In him, a past of struggle and a present of rooted principle transformation meet. It is this past to present continuum which makes him fit to lead in charting the future of our nation. And already the sketch and outline of the future is visibly upon us. We see it thanks to his vision and capacity to reframe the national question, to answer the present challenges and needs. Indeed, to catapult our nation into a middle-income country by 2030. Yes, elections present the voter with contending visions of transforming our society. The quoted and constant voter has to read, weigh, and decide from a welter of competing visions. But visions are deeper and a more serious affair for transforming nations, impacting a people. Not childish dreams which excite rude passions, while not surviving even the most charitable scrutiny. We hear such childish talk designed to transform, make-believe worlds fit for the painter's canvas, never faces to be lived and enjoyed. Bullet trains, spaghetti roads, rural airports, cell phones for animal kingdoms, all such and much more crazy. Years to come, until we ask ourselves why pretenders who sell us such convoluted dummies cannot manage small traffic in our real world cities and municipalities, which they control and run. Why reach Bruway in 40 minutes when our workers can't reach Zanu in 5 hours? What open cans of spaghetti when potholes struggle single-lane roads in the city center? Shouldn't these stray-eyed juvenile politicians take us to Mavuku after a hard day's work before they put us on Apollo 11 to the moon? We shall have time to dismantle their little make-believe dreams as we get down to real campaign work. Before they tackle our icon, could they do their own supporters a small favor by resolving legitimate issues that dog and harmed them. We excuse them not for being too young to have participated in the struggle, but we can't excuse them for mounting a bid for national leadership from a preferred party crowd. Comrade President, we hear your orders as cadres of the ruling Revolutionary Party. The party must rebuild on principles of internal democracy and servant leadership that serves with integrity. The national economy must now recover and grow so the youth have jobs. The national stomach must always eat plentifully so no one goes hungry. Agriculture must succeed. The minerals must become usable wealth, which looks after our people. We hear you loud and clear. Tourism must grow. So too must our infrastructure, which must be made modern and which must speak to the infrastructure of the region, so we become a real hub of the region. Again, we hear you say, such are the elements of your vision which we are ready to hear and receive from you, Your Excellency. Comrades, I present to you our guest speaker, His Excellency, Comrade Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa.
Mchinguli Kashiri, the second for administration, Comrade Ovid Bofu, members of the Central Committee, members of the Political Central Committee, members of the National Consultative Assembly, party candidates in the upcoming Grade 8 harmonized elections, Masmamelu, Baripano, Bishop, Nasi, Mao veterans, Edmans, and detainees now panel, Wanachi Widow, Nanam Jiba, but now members of the diplomatic corps who are present with us, captains of industry who are here, the government officials who are present with us, esteemed delegates, comrades and friends. Today, I feel honored to stand before you as the party's presidential candidate. Following my nomination at the extraordinary National People's Congress held in December 2017. Today, however, I'm joined by many esteemed men and women, members of our Revolutionary Party from across the four corners of our country. We have answered to the call to save our party, Zanu and the people of Zimbabwe by offering themselves as candidates in upcoming elections. I say to you, candidates, welcome to the call to selflessly serve, putting the needs and aspirations of the people of Zimbabwe ahead of everything else. Comrades, we are, all of us, as party candidates, honored to have been selected to represent our colossal party during these defining harmonized general elections. We are indeed cognizant of the immense task that is before us and expectations of not only our party, but the multitudes of our people, both at home and abroad. We are equally alive to the fact that from today, as we go forth full throttle, it is not only to humbly request the people of Zimbabwe to cast their votes for ourselves, and most importantly, our party, but also a commitment and a pledge to pull up our sleeves to rebuild every facet of our country. We carry the hope of Zimbabwe, and Zimbabwe is in good hands. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades and friends, the theme of this year's manifesto and campaign launch, and I quote, unite, fight corruption, develop, re-engage, and create jobs. End of quotation. Is most appropriate in the context of internal transformation of the party, as well as the current national socio-economic vision to transform our country to a middle-income status by 2030. Comrades, the last few weeks we have seen our party undergo processes to strengthen its internal democratic systems and culminated in the holding of the primary elections from April 29 to May 3rd, 2018, under the newly created ZANU-PF National Elections Commission. As I exhorted in my statement on the conduct of primary elections issued on Monday, 30th of April 2018, whatever teething problems we have experienced so far, we have noted them closely. This is why we will not announce the final list today, since the Politburo will be meeting tomorrow to go through the results in order for us to look at all the challenges that have been faced in the processes required. To deepen and strengthen our internal democratic systems. We should guard against those with ulterior motives who may violate and undermine these democratic systems we have introduced. The world over, systems once established get strengthened and fine-tuned over time with all the patience our people have. Comrades, ZANU-PF has the responsibility to shape and reshape the national body politic, its practices, democratic behavior, and electoral ethos. As a party, we must never flinch from this responsibility. Indeed, it is our responsibilities together, you and me, shoulder to shoulder, as the responsible cadres of this revolutionary party. Let us never forget that ZANU-PF has the special status neni ukada kutora ZANU-PF uchiisa muhomwe yako inokupisa ugofa kusvika waikudisa muhomwe mako. ZANU-PF yisikwama sonke siyakwana ku-ZANU-PF ayikwani esikwameni somuntu munye iza kutshisa ikutsise uze uyikhuise. Must recognize the enormousness of the party and its rich ideology. As we enter the next phase of our election preparations, I call upon us to be honest and honorable in our dealings, both with the party and public. Let us continuously strive to toe the path line at all costs. Let us put our differences aside and campaign for the thunderous victory of our revolutionary party, the party of our heritage, the party of the future, the party of posterity. Let us shun the propensity for bickering and unfettered sense of entitlement and a general indiscipline. A house divided cannot stand, and indeed, where there is unity, God commands His blessings towards unity. My dear comrades, today we launch the 2018 People's Manifesto under the theme Unite, Fight Corruption, Develop, Re-engage, and Create Jobs. At the back there is written ZANU-PF, Zimbabwe in good hands. There is no other party which can put Zimbabwe in good hands. This election blueprint will guide us as we prepare for elections and equally guide the next government in the implementation of its policies and programs. This launch, therefore, marks the beginning of honest, people-centered hard work to win the hearts and the minds of the electorate, not as an end in itself, but because we know that Zimbabwe is safe in ZANU-PF's hands. To this end, the focus of our party, as I outlined at the extraordinary session of the National People's Congress in December 2017, is no longer politics, but politics and economics. The days of politics without action are dead and gone. We will not stop other political parties to continue dancing in politics without bringing bread on the table of our people. We must now, more than ever before, be determined to rebuild our country through resuscitating and modernizing all sectors of our economy in the biblical manner. Ige, pamsoro pege, ige, pamsoro pege, ige, pamsoro pege, Jerusalem Marakabaka. As we launch this campaign manifesto, the party and its government has taken bold decisions under my administration to implement a raft of measures aimed at creating a conducive environment for economic growth and development. We have thus taken the steps to transform our economic model to that which is open, transparent, and inclusive, guided by the mantra, Zimbabwe is open for business. This is informed by the realization that sustainable development cannot be inward and isolationist. We need win-win partnerships and foreign investment to catapult our country to the levels of development we must attain in the shortest possible time. While every coin has two sides, it is paramount that we recognize both advantages and possible challenges that may arise from this strategy and prepare appropriately for it, always striving for the best possible result. To this end, the party will ensure that government continues with the robust re-engagement process with the international community through consolidating the relations with our friends and neighbors who have stood with us through thick and thin over the years, whilst also creating new partnerships and friendships to propel national socio-economic development of our beloved Zimbabwe. The need to attract foreign direct investment must therefore be understood in this light. I'm pleased to report that to date, we have over $11 billion worth of investment commitments into our economy. We as the party, going forward, will ensure that these are consummated. We have inbuilt mechanisms to strengthen value chains and improve the quality and standard of living of our people throughout all our provinces. As outlined in the Manifesto, we will continue to improve the investment climate in the country through instituting the requisite macroeconomic reforms, expediting the ease of doing business reforms, industry and competitiveness, infrastructure development, technology and innovation, as well as enhancing public sector accountability and transparency, simplifying business, removing inhibitive and exorbitant fees and levies, and increasing efficiency at all levels. Comrades, through this manifesto and election, the party must champion inclusive growth, and through full and properly planned and coordinated utilization of the abundant natural resources, that abound in our country and remain largely untapped. Agriculture is the mainstay of our economy, and we must consolidate our position in this regard through an aggressive and accelerated modernization and mechanization drive, as well as the use of new scientific methods to increase productivity in every sector. We must therefore move speedily from focusing on primary production and to value addition and the full exploitation of our produce through the creation of the related industry chains such as cotton to cloth, soya to cooking oil, and the hide to leather. In this regard, the party will ensure that the Command Agriculture Program is broadened and adequately financed to increase support of our farmers in cropping, livestock, fisheries, and wildlife. Those who were at the trade fair saw the beginning, the launching of the livestock program. And Honorable our Chairman Manchimburi Ashiri, in their capacity as Minister for Environment and Water, has already begun the fisheries program. Furthermore, we will continue the financing of the Presidential Input Scheme. These initiatives will undoubtedly increase land utilization, productivity, as well as skills and technical knowledge in the agriculture sector. In the quest to ensure perpetual food self-sufficiency and increase export capacity of our farmers, the plans are in place for the dam construction and the acquisition of equipment for increasing irrigation capacity in the agriculture sector. Institutions of higher learning will continue to be encouraged to exploit the opportunities that are available in the agriculture, engineering, and equipment manufacturing subsectors. The party going forward will also champion the production and export of horticulture, livestock, and organic agricultural produce. In addition, the promotion of agro-processing and the canning of fruits and vegetables, vegetable oil processing, as well as leather tanning, will be prioritized with the greater involvement of SMEs, women, and youths. The mining sector continues to be one of the leading sources of investment and export earnings, with a huge impact on employment opportunities and economy. The gold mining, a key contributor to our economy, continues to recover, while platinum, lithium, and other minerals have equally experienced increased investment to date. We, however, must ensure sustainable mining practices which recognize the need to protect and preserve the environment for posterity. Tourism, manufacturing, and all which can go down to 1,000 meters. So people in Wange, you are covered. Or any other area which is very dry. I don't think there's any place in Zimbabwe where water is more than 1,000 meters away from the surface. Comrades, education is the foundation of national development and is key to raising a new generation that will create a better future through the passing on of culture, knowledge and skills. The last 7 years of our independence has witnessed an unparalleled increase in the number of schools and institutions of higher learning, as well as learners attending school. Going forward, the provision of quality education will be a key focus of the Zanu PF government in order to lay a firm foundation for the development of quality human resources for the country's socio-economic requirements for the future. In this regard, we are determined to achieve quality, inclusive and equitable education encompassing all different aspects of education. We have, however, noted the shortages of educational infrastructure within primary, secondary, and institutions of higher learning. Government will directly ensure expansion of available infrastructure and will also, in some instances, pursue investments into this sector through different financing models, such as joint ventures, build, operate, and transfer, or PPs. Equally, we remain concerned that many deserving learners prematurely end their academic journey due to the lack of finance, like we saw yesterday, the First Lady on TV assisting some young lady. To this end, the Zanu PF will continue to provide vulnerable learners with education assistance, the basic education assistance model BIM. In addition, the need for flexible and affordable student loan financing is imperative, and the government will facilitate the development of innovative, responsive, and affordable credit facilities to ensure sustainable education financing of higher education. The Zanu government is committed to do everything possible to ensure that education remains relevant. The implementation of the updated competence-based curriculum will be accelerated. In addition, institutions of higher learning will be aimed to increase collaboration with industry, as well as encourage research and development, innovation, and ICT-based knowledge growth to ensure that the whole spectrum of the education is relevant to our economic growth agenda and supports and sustains the transition from school to the world of work across the board on the planet. Comrades, the country's demographics show that the women and the youth constitute a larger percentage of our population. As such, to ignore this important sector will be very, very much to our detriment. This is an important sector which will be capacitated and is potential for the growth of our nation. The Zanu government will thus continue to accelerate strategies that increase the participation of women and youth in both the economy and the government. Of equal importance is the plight of workers, people living with disabilities, as well as veterans of our liberation struggle. The youths are the future of Zimbabwe, and the Zanu government will continue to create an environment that will help them to fully participate in the country's development. More importantly, we must ensure that sustainable and broad-based youth empowerment programs and and the policies are advanced and implemented as a matter of extreme urgency. The party will continue to strive towards the achievement of gender equality in all spheres of political and socio-economic spheres. In addition, the government will speed up the plans that will facilitate women ownership and control of productive resources, as well as their participation in the value chains in the key economic sectors of our economy. This can only be achieved for the women to participate fully when the government creates a deliberate policy to achieve that. The labor force is pivotal in shaping our destiny, and as the economy expands, it is our pledge that the plight and the rights of workers will always be guaranteed and protected. The condition of service of our teachers, health workers, security forces, and general civil servants will be reviewed with the view of improving their conditions of service. Meanwhile, our government is putting in place a raft of measures to address the challenges of cash shortages in the market. Dear comrades, our party constitution in Article 2, Section 9 obligates the party and the court to create conditions for the establishment of a democratic, political and social order, which guarantees in perpetuity that the government of the state shall be answerable to the people through periodic free and fair elections based on universal adult suffrage. End of quote. We are here to prepare for the elections in fulfillment of these fundamental provisions of this revolutionary party. Before this revolutionary party gathering is Team Zimbabwe, ZANU-PF, who are the party's candidates to the upcoming senatorial, parliamentary, provincial, and council elections. I now appeal to my fellow candidates to now go out and humbly canvass for the vote of the people of Zimbabwe. Ours is a call to the servants of the people. Let us strive to go out there to win the hearts and the minds of the people for them to vote for our party. You cannot force people to vote for you. But we can persuade people to vote for us by showing that our revolutionary party has a past, has a present, and has a vision for the future. Victory for the revolutionary party is certain. Distinguished comrades, guests, ladies and gentlemen, with these words, I declare the ZANU-PF 2018 election manifesto and campaign officially launched. In the government has achieved. It covers the youth and the future. It covers the veterans of our liberation, the workers, the elderly, the disabled are covered by Manifesto. It covers the uplifting the status and the role of women. It has a vision for the people of this country to raise the standard of living by 2030 that will become a middle-income country. Not least are our farmers, our agriculture, its modernization and mechanization. I thank you, Yavo. Your party in the government